I'm just gonna spitball. Hi, I'm Davis. I'm gonna show you guys how to Euro mount a deer skull. I like to preface this by saying that I'm not a professional. I'm just some dude in the woods with a boiling pot and a pressure washer. I do it as like a little side gig for my friends, and if anyone else who knows a friend that needs a deer skull done. So I learned everything I learned from YouTube, and I just thought it'd be cool to make a video for future reference that I don't really know. So I got this buck, muzzleloader buck I shot a couple days ago. As you can see, I've already taken all the skin off and everything like that. The jaw is done, but he's still meaty as all heck. And just gonna be a quick video on how I can turn this into something that's good enough to go on your wall. So we'll start with that. I'll go through the processes. It's pretty simple. This isn't really a fast process either. I sort of just wing it. I take my time, but I'll show you how I do it, and maybe someone else will appreciate just some random dude showing them how to do a Euro mount. So we'll start with that. I'll get the things prepped up. I'll show you guys what I use, and then start trying to get this thing ready to go on my wall. Got the burner going, so I'm just gonna wait for that to come to a nice simmer. And now I'm just gonna get my pressure washer ready. It's just a small electric Craftsman pressure washer. I bought it at Lowe's on Black Friday. So this is what I use to clean the deer skulls. So I'm gonna get all that set up with the water hose and the power cable, and then go from there. Pressure washer is good to go. I've got a board to put the skull on. I like to put it onto a skull so I can sort of hold it with my foot, use the pressure washer, and then so I'm not blasting the dirt apart. So the board's good, and then I can position the skull a bit better against something more difficult. Now we just wait for the water to come to a boil, and then we'll start. At this point, usually while I wait for the water to boil, I just start picking little loose pieces of meat, off the skull. Everything that you can get off before you put it into the pot just makes it easier when you do it with a pressure washer. A lot of this meat that's behind near the brainstem, everything here, it's usually really tough and sinewy, so it doesn't always want to come off. So the most you can get off with a knife beforehand, the better. All right, I continued chunking away at it. All I was doing is just a pair of pliers, my hunting knife, and a screwdriver, just chunking shit out. As you can see, I got one of the eyeballs out. It's right there. Just grabbing it, pulling it with the pliers, and just slicing and dicing until it came out. There's really no rhyme or reason, so just went at it. So I got one out, one in, and the pot looks like it's ready. I said boil. You don't really want it to boil. You really just want it more of a simmer. So you can see the bubbles at the bottom and the bubbles at the top, so it's good. One way you can do it, especially if you have a bigger rack, you can wrap the antlers in saran wrap and then wrap electrical tape around the bases really tightly, and that'll keep that from discoloring or anything, especially if it's a big, really nice deer. But this is just a small buck, dandy buck I shot, so I'm not really worried about it too much. So we just take them and then toss them in the pot. I don't really have any specific time for how long I let them sit in there. I more just wait, watch. Once all the red bits turn more white and the flesh looks like it's soft and falling off, then I pull it out and start blasting it with the pressure washer. What I'll do, what I did before, is I'll take my knife and I go in and I just sort of score the big chunks of sinewy meat that I couldn't cut off well, just so the water gets in there easier and that it boils better and it comes out when you start blasting with the pressure washer. But yeah, that's it. So this is just gonna sit, boil for maybe a minute or so. You don't want to let it boil too long. You just want it, enough where it makes the meat soft, not too long where it makes the bone soft. And then I'll pull it out, start blasting it with the pressure washer, and then it's gonna be sort of back and forth between the bucket, the board, and back to the bucket until it's clean. Here we go. out of the pot, onto the board, put on it. So, seems like I got some water on it. So there's it after the first blast, and it's just rinse and repeat. You just do one, get as far as you can, and when the meat stops coming off like it should, you just put it back in the pot, let it boil for another 30-40 seconds, pull it out, and just keep going at it with the pressure washer over and over and over again. That's all I do. So I'm gonna put it back in the pot, pull it out, and then just keep on keeping on. As you can see, my glasses get dirty. You'll get some in your face, so it's better to wear glasses so you don't, get deer meat juice in your eyes. All right, so we've got to get looking pretty decent. I'm on my second or third wash now. Now, right now, we got this stuff. That's all the cartilage and stuff on the nose bone. I don't care for that, like, at all whatsoever when it comes to my Euro mounts. So what I'll do for that is just cut it off. So you can see that white cartilage line. Just go at it with a knife. See where it comes off the bone? Cut that off. Right here. Go in. Go in. Then you can pretty much just go straight in from here. Go in. There's the nose. Throw that away. And just, cut all this crap out. You don't need it. It's no good. And some of this stuff, it likes to stick. Come through and chop some of it off. So with this stuff, I'm just blasting this away with the pressure washer. That's all I'm doing. If you want to make your life a bit easier, you can come in here after a good blast and sort of just open it up with some cuts. So the water and especially when you're boiling it, can get in there better. Now, if you're wondering, oh, Davis, are you making scuff marks with the knife on the skull, doing it like this? Because the skull is soft. The answer to that is, yeah, I am. In some places. You know, I try not to, like, you know, bury the knife in to the skull, but no, there are places where, you know, you're gonna get little nicks and cuts and scrapes and all that jazz. But my mindset with that is, I'm the one doing this. It's going on my wall. I shot this buck. I'm not really worried if I, you know, in the process of doing it myself, I get a couple scrapes and nicks here and there. So don't worry about that. If you're worried about that and you're a perfectionist, then I don't know, find some other knife to use or something like that. I got no idea. But this is how I do it. I don't really care for a couple nicks and dents. No one's gonna see the bottom side of the skull when it's hanging on the wall like this anyway. So yeah, and then back in the pot. So a big thing when you're doing this to you know, get something out is these little things. These are the ear bones. So as you can see, I've already taken one of them out. All I do is I just take a Phillips head, stick it in here, and then chunk it out. You'll see this little lobe right here. It slides in, take it, pop it right out. And then you can just sort of peel it off. You'll see sometimes a little bit's left over, like right here. I just set it up with a punch through it, and then just like this, you can see how I punch through right here, but you know, it's loose. And then when you use a pressure washer, it'll blow through it. Another thing is that in order to get the brain out, you can see I've actually got the brain out. There's a hole right here. See this hole? When you have the skull like this sitting down, if you put the pressure washer nozzle in that hole and just push it in there and let it shoot water, it'll actually force the brain up out of the spinal column. You can just see it right there, there, and there, and it'll come right out. Because you don't want to stick the pressure washer nozzle in there, because it'll just fountain out and make a mess. So that's what I do. I just stick the pressure, once I've gotten these eye holes cleared out, I just stick the pressure washer nozzle as close to there, this little tiny hole, as I can on both sides. And then, yeah, shoots the brain right out. And then you can go and grab a flat head, this is a Phillips head, and just sort of peel this membrane off the side of the wall, and then grab a pair of pliers and pop it right out. Right now, I'm just sort of picking some hard sinew off. Just little, like, really hard bits. Scraping at it with the knife, Phillips head, the flathead, and my little chisel, and just getting little tiny bits left. And then, almost done. We're almost at the end. Ladies and gentlemen, we are done. That is it. The only thing left to do, now you can stop here. You can just be done. You know, you can keep it like this, let it dry out, put it on your wall. Like, totally clean, all set, good to go. The brain is out, just like how I said to do it, with the 2 holes there. And then, but you can also whiten it if you'd want. And I'll show you what I use to whiten it. All right, here, let me go get it. All right, what I use to whiten my skulls is this weird women's hair product. Look at it there, Colorista, bleach all over. Couldn't tell you how to use it for hair or something, but it was pretty good in a deer skull. It comes with this little bottle in here that has like this pasty stuff in it, and awesome on deer bone. So I just, you know, take it. Ooh, see, you know, it's foaming over. I'll spread it onto the bone, and I'll show you how I do that. All right, so I take the skull, I have my pot off, and I dunk it back in the hot water for about 10 seconds or so. I just want to get the skull a little bit damp. You'll notice as you're cleaning it that it'll get damp, and then you'll take it out and it'll start to dry, almost like it wants to suck the water into the bone. Bone's porous. So, in 10 seconds, pour it out. And then you're just going to let it air dry for a little bit, nice and damp. And then you're going to take this weird woman's hair product and I got a foam brush that I use for epoxy. And all you're going to do is just you know, start dabbling it all over the skull. So I'll take it, lather it on like this weird cream, and then just, you know, dabble it on into all the little cracks and crevices. And then I'm just gonna keep doing that all the way over the entire skull. Just dabbling it, make sure to get it in all those little tight spots, and do that all the way until you're done. So I'm gonna do that, finish it up, and then I'll get back. Alrighty, you can see I've got it all lathered up with the whitening paste. Again, that's this stuff. I bought it on Amazon. And now all that's left to do is saran wrap it. And there we go. So now that it's all nice and saran wrapped up, you just press it onto the skull. All you do is just let it sit overnight somewhere warm, where it's not gonna get moist or anything like that. This is my chicken coop, so I'm just gonna throw it in there and I'm gonna let it sit for a night and come back tomorrow after it's sat for the night and see how it looks. Here are two other skulls that I've done for buddies. It's gonna go here. Here's the other one. And mine will go here. It'll sit just like that. And we'll be back tomorrow to see how it came out. Alright. Good morning, everybody. So it's sat overnight. It's been cold this morning. I'm going to unwrap her and wash her off with water and see how she looks. So take all the saran wrap you put on yesterday off. Side. Water hose. Ladies and gentlemen, there we go. That is a finished Euro mount. Whitened, nice, clean, ready to go on your wall. Done. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. I mean, we'll run through the steps again. So the steps were, of course, you know, one, clean the skull. Get all the flesh, get the jaw off, get as much flesh as you can off, clean that, so it's good to go. Boil the skull, right? Just get a pot of water, start boiling it for a minute or so, not too long. You don't want to, you know, make the bone brittle. About a minute, and pressure wash the skull. And then just start using the pressure washer. I don't use the gentle tip, I use like the medium tip of my pressure washer. It's just a Craftsman pressure washer, electric pressure washer. And just rinse and repeat. You're gonna rinse and repeat step 2 and 3 until you get all of it off. You pull the brain out, pull the eyes out, get those nose ear bones out, like with the screwdriver, like I showed you. Get all the nose stuff out. You can keep it if you want. I usually, all that spirally stuff up in the nostril, I just take it all out, chunk it out, makes a nice see-through all the way to the back of the skull. No one ever notices it anyway, so I just take it right out, makes it super clean. You're not gonna have a risk of it smelling. And then, you know, sometimes if I want to get it, I'll put some Dawn dish soap into the skull when I put it into the water pot so it boils up and it sort of suds it up, gets some of the oil out, and rinse and repeat. And then once you're done, take it out, dunk it in the water for 10 seconds, pull it out, adhere the whitening solution, wrap it in saran wrap, put it in your chicken coop for 24 hours, pull it out, rinse it in cold water. Ladies and gentlemen, you've officially made yourself a hero mounted deer skull. Does this work with other skulls of other animals like bears and moose? I have no idea. I've only ever done whitetail before. I'm sure it works on like blacktail deer because they're like the same thing, but other animals I've never done, so I can't really tell you. But for whitetail, it works. If you guys have any questions, I'll be sure to ask them down below. I'll tell you what I do. Everything that I've done and learned how to do, I learned off YouTube videos, or I read an article on the internet, or I done enough of them where I just sort of figured it out on my own. So I'm not a taxidermist. I'm gonna put that in big letters right here, maybe if I don't really know how to edit videos, but not a taxidermist. I'm just a guy with a pressure washer and a propane cooker. That's it. So hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for being here.